In another story, over the last few months, we've been highlighting the dangers of rising interest rates from the European Central Bank and from the US Federal Reserve as well. Again, there was raises last week in interest rates. You wanted to highlight an article, Padraig, in relation to this from the Irish Independent, I think it is.
Yeah, so Finbar, around 100,000 mortgages sold to vulture funds are now being hit by some of the highest mortgage rates in the country. Borrowers must pay interest as high as 7% while being denied the option to lock into lower fixed rates. Consumer advocate Brendan Burgess accused the central bank of throwing these people to the wolves and said people whose loans were sold were now mortgage prisoners. Some borrowers whose loans were sold have been told their mortgage rates are going to go as high as 7.09%, prompting fears of a massive spike in arrears. One borrower said his monthly repayments have gone from around 200 a month to 700 a month. Rates as high as 7% have not been seen for years and are a multiple of European central bank rates. The unfolding mortgage scandal of the central bank's making has all the hallmarks of another crisis. So I think we've flagged it there in the past. These vulture funds and the terms and conditions that they have people locked in on that they never signed up for just because their mortgages were sold. Surely this is an absolute disgrace when you think about Ireland coming from that banking crisis where we almost owned all the main banks in the country. Back to this now.
Did you say Brendan Burgess?
That's right, yeah, that's the name there. Yeah.
This is the guy who, throughout the last financial crisis and the eviction crisis, was all gung-ho in terms of evictions and felt that if people couldn't pay, they should be out in the street. So I'm not sure how concerned this guy really is, to be honest with you, from that point of view. I remember him very well. In fact, I was a part of a primetime program that he was on one time, and he wasn't a very nice guy at all. So that's one of my points. Another point about this story is central bank throws families to the wolves. It's not the central bank, it's the ECB. The central bank just do what the ECB say. And this is, again, maybe an attempt at a pretense that Ireland has some kind of sovereignty when it comes to its own economics, which it clearly doesn't. Finally, my final comment on this is that there's a massive, massive eviction crisis coming. We're talking about other issues. We're talking about heating. We're talking about the price of food, the price of diesel and petrol. This could potentially make a hell of a lot of people homeless. And it's talk about 100,000 people. I wonder, do they mean 100,000 mortgages or 100,000 people? Because 100,000 mortgages is at least 300,000 people. So I'd be pretty concerned about that. And putting figures like that about what people can afford and what, those figures, I'm guessing, are based on the current situation and people's ability to pay it currently. There's a recession coming European-wide, and it's here already, essentially, but it really, really has to kick in yet. A lot of people could lose their jobs. And in that context, that 100,000 could go up significantly. And something has to be done about it. There were movements over the last 10 years, very localized movements to try to stop evictions that scared the living bejesus, if you want to say that, out of the government when courts were being shut down by the public, when the Armed Response Unit had to go into courts to try to maintain eviction courts. So the danger to the government and the danger to the overall system of this happening now, especially since so many people have already gone through this once in their lifetime, they may be facing it with the same mortgage again after years of worry, stress, trying to make payments, getting a new deal, and then they're back to square one again. I don't know how much people can take. I was an activist during that time, focused on evictions, and the amount of people who became sick, the amount of people I know who died, people who took their own lives, people who developed mental health problems, families that broke down and broke up. Just phenomenal what the impact of losing your home, or just the threat of losing your home, has on people. So we're going to keep a really close watch on this story. And if there's any movements developing to trying to challenge this, we'll let you guys know about it as well.